Alright everyone, Bilt just released their rent day exclusive deals, so if you aren't aware, Bilt is a card that allows you to pay your rent and still earn and accumulate points that can then be transferred and used with travel partners. And on rent day, they always have these promotions, so the first of the month, there's always this incentive to really use your points or to get more out of your card than you would for the rest of the month. And normally with Bilt, on the first of the month, at least by default, it doubles up your point earning categories. And I don't want to get too deep into what the Bilt card is, because I really want to focus on the rent day specials that they have, but just to give you a quick overview, you do get 3x back on dining, 2x back on travel, and then 1x back on everything else, but then on rent day that all doubles. So you get 6x on dining, 4x on travel, and then 2x on the rest of any of your purchases. But then, like I mentioned, there's always some sort of additional perk or some sort of incentive or something that they want to give you on rent day just to say a big thank you for being a Bilt card member and a Bilt card user. So I want to touch on these because they are absolutely epic and amazing. And you could end up traveling business class to Europe from North America for cents on the dollar. Let's get into exactly what you get on the 1st of January. So on January 1st of 2024, you're definitely going to want to jump on this if you are a Bilt user. And if you're not a Bilt card user or even just a Bilt rewards member, which is absolutely free. But again, you do not need to be an actual Bilt card member to use these perks. You can just create a Bilt rewards account and then start to redeem stuff by connecting your current bank account and connecting your current credit cards to then earn additional points when using Lyft or when shopping or when dining in at Bilt dining restaurants. But I do want to do a full in-depth walkthrough of the Bilt reward program and the Bilt credit card. So definitely subscribe to the channel to learn a little bit more about that. But to let you guys know what they're doing on January 1st, Bilt is bringing back all of their biggest kind of membership exclusives and their biggest membership perks all into one single month. So Bilt has a kind of tiered system in terms of rewards and things like that. It goes blue, silver, gold, and then platinum status. And the way that you kind of earn those statuses or those tier statuses is depending on how many Bilt reward membership points you earn throughout the year. So as of right now, we're a little bit above 50,000 points. That gets us into that gold category, which gives us even more when it comes to redeeming these points and getting more out of them on January 1st. Now, as I mentioned, Bilt does have a bunch of nice travel partners, both in the hotel space and the airline space. The biggest perk is that when it comes to flying blue, so that includes all of Air France and KLM, which does a ton of travel between the US and like Paris and Amsterdam and most of Europe, you're getting anywhere from a 75% boost to a 150% boost depending on your tier status. So that is with Flying Blue. So let's say you are just a regular Blue member on the Bilt side, so you get an extra 75% boost, which means that every 1,000 points that you transfer from Bilt to Flying Blue will now turn into 1,750. Now, we are Gold members, my wife and I, so that gives us a 125% boost on every 1,000 points that we transfer over, meaning if we transfer over 1,000, we're getting 2,250 points of redemption value that we can send over to Air France. So on January 1st, what we're doing is we're moving over 50,000 Bilt points into Air France and KLM, which will give us a total of 112,500 KLM Flying Blue points, which is more than enough to get us business class one way for 2 tickets from JFK, which is a New York area, over to either Paris or Amsterdam or any one of those European countries. I think Zurich is on the table as well, Frankfurt. There's a lot of options you can take flying directly with Air France and KLM, and they are interchangeable and they use the same exact point program. So if you transfer your points to Air France, they will also be in your KLM account and vice versa. So that is an amazing perk. Like, I've never seen anything like that. You know, Chase and American Express and, you know, things like Citi, they do have some bonuses that you can transfer every once in a while, but, you know, they're usually 25%, 30%, maybe 40%. So if you transfer 1,000, you get 1,400 points at a maximum. Again, I'm transferring 1,000 points and getting 2,250, which is absolutely absurd. So that point redemption value increases even more so because not only am I getting the point redemption value up front through the Air France, but I'm also getting it because I started with less than half the points needed to get those business class tickets. And the other 2 transfer incentives are with Virgin Atlantic, the airline, as well as IHG, which is a hotel chain of brands. Now, I was considering moving them to Virgin Atlantic because if you want to get an economy ticket from JFK to London Heathrow, it's only about 10,000 points, meaning that if you have maybe the highest tier status, you can go to London Heathrow economy for under 4,000 points, which is absolutely absurd. Yes, there are some higher taxes and fees, and that's the main reason why I didn't transfer it over to Virgin Atlantic, is because if I want to fly business class over to Europe or over to something like London Heathrow, it's still going to be a great redemption value from a point standpoint. I believe it's only going to cost me like 20,000 points, but it's still almost $1,000 in taxes and fees, which to me isn't really worth it. And then same thing goes with IHG. The IHG portfolio is a great portfolio of hotel brands and things like that, but the actual point redemption value is just so low that for me, it's not really worth it. That's why the Air France one is an absolute game changer. So if you do want to transfer to IHG or transfer to Virgin Atlantic, you can definitely do that. But I'm taking advantage of the KLM and Flying Blue and Air France and transferring my 50,000 points over to get over 117,000 points, which is going to be amazing. And then to quickly round off the perks that you're getting on January 1st with the Bilt card, you're getting an additional 50% boost on Amazon purchases. So I do believe it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So for every point, it's 1 cent. So if you do want to use your points to redeem them for actual purchases on Amazon, you can do that with an additional 50% boost, which is great if you do want to redeem them that way. And then also you are getting a $5 Lyft credit, which is pretty much use it whenever you want within 90 days. So you go into your account on January 1st, you can activate it, which is a $5 kind of like gift card essentially that goes into your Lyft account, and you have 90 days to use that if you are a Lyft user, which I definitely am. I am a Lyft Pink user. Now again, you don't need to actually be a Bilt credit card holder in order to get any of these perks. It does kind of help expedite the process of earning points because you can earn a lot more points with the Bilt card, but if you connect enough credit cards and you use enough of the Bilt dining, you can just create a free membership reward program and be at least in the blue tier status and collect enough points to then transfer them over, because even for something as small as maybe a Hyatt stay, you can stay at a Hyatt for 3,500 points. And there's a little bit of a trick if you guys do want to take advantage of this. Create an account, go into the transfer partners and link all of your accounts, because for every account that you link, you get 100 points. And then also on the first of every month, on top of all those perks that I'm talking about, Bilt has a little game which allows you to earn up to 250 additional points, as well as being able to earn rent for free with a nice little video and kind of like a gamification of getting people involved in the application. So at the end of the day, I think Bilt is more of a reward program that just happens to have a credit card versus a credit card that happens to have a reward program, which is what basically what Chase, Amex, Citi, and all these other kind of Capital One banks are doing. You know, they're banks and credit card companies first, and then they just happen to have a rewards program versus Bilt. They're all about rewards, and then they just happen to have a credit card that helps you expedite earning those rewards. But let me know in the comment down below, are you going to be taking advantage of any of these? Are you a Bilt card member? Are you a Bilt rewards member? Like I mentioned, I'll link it down in the description below. If you guys do want to sign up for one, it does help out the channel. Like I mentioned, I'm going to have a full video walking through every nook and cranny of this Bilt card because it is very impressive what you get for a 0 annual fee card. But that's going to do it for this video. If you guys want to watch some more videos, click on one of these right here. If you made it to the end, leave a little credit card emoji in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. And until next time, I'm Fernando. I'm out of here, everybody. Peace.